Growing healthy, top quality, really good performing and very beautiful varieties of roses is what we love to do here at Overdevest. And because we've carried out extensive trialing and testing over the years, I can assure you that the varieties that we offer through our partnering garden centres are ones that we know do very well right here in our mid-Atlantic and northeastern states. Ones that we know that when you plant them out in your garden should give you lots of glorious beauty. And because we're continually prepping and deadheading and pruning and working with our varieties, it means that those partnering garden centres have the opportunity to stock these varieties anytime from Mother's Day all the way through to the end of October. And because our plants are grown in containers, that means that they will transplant successfully anytime in that very wide planting window as well. Now that means that when you go along to visit those garden centres, you'll be able to see, touch, admire and perhaps even smell the ones that appeal to you most. And as you can see, we grow a very wide selection of different types, from small growing ones to larger growing ones, and even of course as climbers. But all of them are varieties that we've trialed and tested here. And now what I want to do is to take you up into our trial and testing garden where we grow these roses under outdoor normal garden conditions in this region to see how they perform just like they should do in your garden. And I want to show you one that we've been watching now for several years that we think is really rather special. And now, as you see, we've moved up to our trialing and testing area. It's right by the middle of our busy nursery, whereas you hear in the background, we've got pruning machines going, lots of tractors and vehicles, of course, going on in this busy nursery. But this is where we test and trial our varieties. And here it is. This is David Austin's Lichfield Angel. Now this is a variety that we have in our trial and testing area here. We have it planted in 4 different beds, 2 of which are sprayed, and 2, this one and the one over there, have not received any preventative spray whatsoever. That's a fungicidal treatment that often people will spray on the roses to ward off the likes of black spot and mildew and so on. And I should quickly add that here we are now in the middle of the summer. I'm showing you this plant at probably the worst possible time because the temperatures are high, the ground is on the dry side, there's a lot of humidity in the air, and as you can see by the other roses that are near to it here, many of them are stressed out and really not doing very well in these very trying conditions for roses. In fact, if you look at this plant and see how green and lush and healthy it is, and remember this one hasn't had any spraying whatsoever, and then look at the ones that are next door to it here, and you will see that they're doing okay, but really not very sprightly. In fact, they are fairly well defoliated with the effects of black spot and so on. So you can see the difference between finding a variety that's a nice, vigorous, strong growing variety and one that has natural resistance to rose diseases like black spot. You can also see that this is a plant that gets to about 5 foot by about 5 foot wide. So it's a nice vigorous grower. In fact, what this one is a tetraploid variety, which means that it has extra vigor. That means that you've got lots and lots of flower bud appearing on the plant. Remember, this is the middle of the summer, the worst possible time for me to be showing you this variety. In early summer and again in the autumn, it will be even better than it's looking now. But this is the test. If you want to test a rose to see how well it stands up to disease, this is the time to go looking at them right now in the middle of the summer. So getting back to the individual plant, you'll see that it is covered with lots of these really beautiful, pristine, creamy white flowers. They come out first with a kind of little bit of an apricot coloring to them. Then as they begin to unfold and make this very nice rosette shaped flower that's about 3.5 inches or so wide, you'll see that it comes with a really nice warming creamy color. And then as the flowers develop further, they'll peel to pure white. So there's something very cool and sophisticated about having white in our garden, and if you're looking for a white flowering rose, this would definitely be one that I'd suggest you look at. And as I mentioned earlier, very, very importantly, you will see that this plant is putting out lots of new flower bud, which means that it just keeps flowering and flowering. Now, what's interesting about this variety and testing it here in this region is that when I talk to my British gardening friends, they tell me a couple of things that Lichfield Angel does differently in the UK as opposed to here. The first thing they tell me is that it tends in the UK to flower in flushes. Here in this area, we've noticed that this plant almost flowers continually. We don't see so much of the flush of flowering like apparently they get in the UK. You can see from the old flower hips on here, and remember, this plant also has not been dead-headed. In fact, it's had no treatment whatsoever. We leave them here to their own devices, and that shows what the plant does if it's in your garden and perhaps not getting the attention that it might get. This shows the effects of what the plant can do. So here are the hips from the earlier flowers in the season. Now here are all the current flowers on it, and then, as I mentioned, lots of these nice big buds that are just now breaking out and will carry the display on through the rest of the summer, and because it's making new growth, it will continue into the fall as well. The other thing that's really interesting in comparing how it does in the UK compared to here is that my gardening friends in the UK tell me that they tend to find that with Lichfield Angel, the flowers tend to hang over a little bit, and the character of the plant tends to have arching shoots. If you look at this plant, with our stronger sunlight conditions and perhaps drier soil conditions, there isn't any of that. These shoots here are sticking up nice and proud and prim above the foliage. The flowers are beautifully displayed all over the plant. They're not hanging over like they do in England. So actually this appears to be a variety that's doing better under our conditions here than it does in where it was raised in Wolverhampton in England. It's a variety that was introduced by David Austin in 2006. It was crossed first way back in 1998, and then through their trialing and testing program, which can take up as much as 5 to 7 and 10 years to go through the selection process, they developed this variety and then decided to introduce it. And the other thing that I want to point out is that, and I think this could be important if you don't like prickly roses, is that the stems on this rose are almost thornless. They do have a few prickles on the stems, but much less than many of the other varieties. So you can easily reach in, if you want, to clip a few stems and bring them in and put them into an arrangement if that's what you want to do, and you don't have to worry about wearing gloves or getting spiked. And the other thing that's very important with white flowering roses is that this is a self-cleaning variety. What that means that unlike many other white or peel colored flowers, that when you get cold or wet or unseasonable weather, the flowers tend to what we call ball and kind of remain on the plant and look unsightly. With these, when you touch the petals, you'll see that they fall off, which gives you this overall very nice kind of clean appearance. And when you get this lovely contrast of the pure white flowers against this fresh green foliage, you can see just how effective it is. And roundabout now, you're probably wondering, is it fragrant? What does it smell like? Well, let me tell you that if you go out early in the morning or late in the evening when the temperatures are cooler and you smell it, you'll probably be able to find a very slight, mild musk fragrance. It's not strong. This is not a strongly fragrant variety, but it is there, and it is very pleasant really, but mild. So when you get a chance, call in at some of our partnering garden centres and take a look at it yourself. And by the way, if you're enjoying what we're doing here with bringing you content about some of our best performing varieties and you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, can I suggest that you think about doing so? And if you like what we're doing, then it would be really good, if you don't mind, to like this video, because then that helps other people discover the information as well. Now, just to fill you in a little bit on the unusual name that this plant has, it's called Lichfield Angel. And that's because in 2003 at Lichfield Cathedral in Staffordshire in England, they made an important discovery. They were excavating there to install a new altar when they discovered an 8th century Anglo-Saxon painted sculptural panel which had the most remarkable features on it. Some of the original pigment from the colouring on the painted stone was still there. So to mark that important discovery, when David Austin was introducing this variety in 2006, remember, he decided to commemorate this important discovery by naming it after that panel. So I hope that with this variety now and this video, it will help you make a significant discovery as well. Help you find a variety that we know to be an excellent performer, that is really beautiful, that puts on a terrific show, and one that we think you're really going to enjoy having in your garden. This is David Wilson. Enjoy your gardening. It's good for us, and it's good for our environment too.